So to get this Strappy Bodycon dress started, we're first going to grab our category 3 yarn, make a slip knot, grab our 4mm hook and insert that onto our loop, and I'm just going to start off by making a chain of 45 inches, but we do have to keep in mind that there is going to be some shrinkage as well. So once we have our chain, we're going to block off that last chain that we just did. We're going to chain up one, and then from here we're going to insert our hook into that chain that we blocked off, or the second chain from the hook, with a single crochet, and then from here we're going to put one single crochet into every loop going back down our chain. So once we've made it all the way down with our row of single crochet, what we're going to do next in order to get a ribbing effect, we're going to chain up one, flip our work, and then we're going to be doing back loop slip stitches. Sorry, I was going to say single crochet, slip stitches. So we're going to insert our hook into, if this will focus, so we're going to do a slip stitch into the back loops for this row. So from here we're just going to insert our hook into this back loop that we have. We're going to yarn over, pull through everything on the hook, and that is our back loop slip stitch. Let's do this 2 more times. So insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over, pull through everything on the hook. 1 more, insert, pull through everything. And then from here we're just going to do back loop slip stitches. Oh my goodness, we're going to do back loop slip stitches going all the way down, and then we are going to do back loop single crochets right after that, but I will show you guys how to do that when we get there. So I just got done doing our first row of back loop slip stitches, and then like I said, I cannot speak today. Like I said, the row after, and there's a car. Like I said, the row after this is going to be back loop single crochets. So once when we get here, we're going to chain up one, flip your work, and then once when you get here, we're going to be working into the back loops doing single crochets. So we're going to be working into this back loop, single crochet, and then we're going to do this all the way down, and then when we work our way back, we're going to be doing back loop slip stitches. Going back the other way is going to be back loop single crochets, and that's basically going to be the pattern for this dress. So basically we're just alternating rows from one row of being back loop slip stitches and then the next row being back loop single crochet, and this is the pattern for the entirety of the dress portion. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple of these rows, and then I'll check back with you within a couple rows just to show you guys how the ridging is going and to talk to you guys a little bit about this guy. So we are back just after a few rows because I wanted to show you guys the ribbing that we're getting and also just speak to you guys a little bit about this project that we're doing. So as you guys can see, I'm working on the back loop single crochet rows, and then just as a really quick tip, sometimes mid-project I get lost with what row I should be doing next, so I figured out a quick little method to figure out what row I should be working on. So if you take a look at your work, and if you see where the tail end is, you're actually going to be doing single crochets going towards the tail end. And then if you're working the opposite way, then you're going to be doing your back loop slip stitches. And that has helped me save a lot of time, so I don't have to redo rows. And then also, I know that I did mention shrinkage before, and this isn't going to be an exact one-to-one science per project for mine or yours, but I said that I made a chain of 45 inches, but that was me taking shrinkage into account. So just to let you guys know, I did do my initial chain of 45 inches, but I just measured it, and it actually shrunk down to 37 inches. I don't exactly understand how the math works on that because I've done other projects with same measurements, and then the shrinkage really just varies depending on I don't know what. So please take shrinkage into account whenever you do projects like this, especially since we're working on the length. So we're actually going to be working on this guy for a while, so I'm going to meet you back when I have the width that I need. I'll give you guys the measurements when it's actually done. And now that we have all of that information out of the way, we're just going to continue on doing the same pattern for the remainder of the dress, bottom skirt portion. So go ahead and turn on some TV, chill out, listen to music, and let me know what y'all are listening to or watching in the comments down below. But I'll meet you guys back when we have this all done. So I just got done doing the main portion of the skirt, and now we're just going to connect it, do a little border around the top, and then we can start working on the top portion. But from here, you're going to want to take a look at the ribbing effects that we have put into this skirt. There's going to be 2 different kinds depending on which side you think is prettiest. You're going to go ahead and fold the pretty sides into each other. Oh yeah, and the width of my skirt unstretched is 19.5 inches. So for me, I like this side, so I'm just going to fold this side over. So I've just folded my work in half lengthwise, making sure that the pretty sides are on top of each other. And right before we start connecting everything, I just want to say that doing the stitches this way, doing the back loop single crochet and then back loop slip stitch, back loop slip stitch, and then doing that for the entire length, the ends will come out uneven, but we will have the same amount of loops on both, so connecting it won't be an issue. Since it does come out uneven, once when we connect it, it'll all even out and we won't have that issue anymore. We are ready to connect the skirt together. And as you guys can see, our hook is already through one side. We're just going to take the other side, and then into this first loop, we're just going to insert our hook. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through everything that's on the hook. And now it's nice and secure. And then for the rest of this, we're actually going to be doing single crochets, but we're going to be going into the outside loops. So really quickly, for this panel that is closest to us, we're going to be working into the front loop, and then the panel that is furthest away from us, we're going to be going into the back loops. So into this next loop that we have, these are the two loops that we usually go into. We're just going to be going into the front loop since this panel is the one that's closest to us, and then we're going to take a look at the back panel. And then these are the two loops that we would usually go into. We're just going to insert our hook into that back loop, and then we're going to single crochet. And let's do that one more time. So into the next loop, insert our hook in through the front loop, and then into the back panel loop, we're going to insert our hook in through the back loop and single crochet. And we're only doing it this way so that the seam that we have won't be as harsh. Once when we flip it inside out, we'll still have a little ridging effect on the other side. But we're just going to do this all the way down, but once we get to the end, don't cut and tie because we got a little bit of a border to do. So we just made our way all the way up to the top, doing single crochet into the outside loops, and then this is still flipped inside out. So from here, all we're going to do is flip it right side out. And then this little ridging that we have right here is the reason why we did the outside loops. Otherwise, this wouldn't have the ridging and this would just be flat, which would look okay, but you would definitely see it a little bit easier once when you wear it. And this next part is going to be super simple. I am going to introduce some elastic into the mix. And if you guys don't have any elastic, don't worry about it. This can be done in with either a drawstring that you guys can add in later, or if you don't want to do any of that, it's not necessary because the stitches that we did right here is really tight and it will cling to the body. It just won't be as tight as using the elastic, but it would still be pretty form-fitting. So this is all up to you guys. But as for the elastic, all I did was made sure that this fit right underneath my bust and it was still comfy enough to put on and off. So once when I had that, I went ahead and made a cut and then tied the two tail ends together really tight because this is going to be the only elastic closure that we have. So I just went ahead and inserted my hook into where our working yarn is, and all we're going to do is just do a row of single crochet around. Like I said, if you guys aren't using elastic, go ahead and just put one single crochet into each of these kind of loops that we have. Just make sure that you don't put too many into one section, otherwise it'll bunch up. But go ahead and go around doing that if you're not using elastic. And for those of us that are using elastic, I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. It's still pretty easy, but just got a little extra step to it. But once when we're here, all we're going to do is chain up one. We're going to start off by inserting our hook into the first kind of loop that we see, wherever you guys want to insert it. We're just going to insert it into this first loop right here. Once we get here, we're going to take the elastic that we have already tied together, and we're just going to place it onto our hook. And then this is just going to rest here for the rest of the single crochet row that we're doing. So once when we're here, we're just going to yarn over, pull through, and then as you can see, the elastic is where we're working next to. We're just going to yarn over, pull through two, single crochet like normal, and as you guys can see now, the elastic is nice and woven in there, and it's not going to wiggle out. So let's do this a couple more times into the next loop that we have. Insert our hook. We're going to make sure that our elastic is right next to the loop that we're going into our work, and then we're just going to single crochet like normal. And from here, go ahead and just put one single crochet into each of these loops that we have. And once we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch together. Go ahead and chain up one and cut, and then we'll work on the top half. As y'all can see, we have just finished up doing our single crochet row along the top with my elastic inside. And then the next thing that I did was I actually tried this on, and then I put in my stitch markers where I wanted our cups to start. And that placement for me is going to be right where my side boob is on both sides. So I just went ahead and put a place marker in there. And then while it was still on, I actually went ahead and just made a little chain from where I put the place markers just to see how long I wanted my chain to be. And unfortunately, I don't have a number count for you guys. You guys are just gonna have to figure it out for your own bust size. But once when you have that chain, don't cut and tie because that's not gonna be how we start it. We're going to take it off and then just leave it as is, and then we're gonna start it right now. So to get started on the top portion, we're going to take our yarn, make a slip knot, grab our hook, and then we're going to make a chain that came out to the same amount that you guys figured out when we had the dress on. And just as a reference, mine is 4 inches. And then once we have our chain, we're just going to insert our hook in through where one of our space markers is at. So we're going to pick one, it doesn't matter which one, we're just going to take this guy out, insert our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through everything on the hook. And then this is going to hang out outside. We're going to get back to that in a little bit. But since we're here, all we're going to do is do a single crochet into every loop, going all the way back around until we meet this other space marker. And then we're going to make a chain that is the exact same length that we have on this side so that our cups can form. So we just finished up doing our first row for our top portion. And as you guys can see here, we have a chain. We single crocheted all the way around the top part of the dress and then continued the chain on the edge of the dress so that our cups can match. And then once we have this, what we're going to do is chain up one. We're going to insert our hook into that second loop from the hook with a single crochet. And then we're going to put one single crochet going into each chain that we have going back down. And then once we reach the single crochet portion right here, we're going to start doing some slip stitches, but I'll show you guys how to do that once when we get there. We just finished up putting one single crochet into every chain that we had going back down the chain. And like I said, once we reach our single crochet portion along the body, we're going to start doing some slip stitches, and that's just to give our dress a little bit of texture. So what we're going to do from here is insert our hook into that first loop, yarn over, pull through everything that's on the hook, and that is our slip stitch. Let's do this one more time. Insert, yarn over, pull through everything. And we're going to keep doing this all the way down. Once we reach the chain that we made on the other side for our cup, we're going to do single crochet again. Once we get to the end, we're going to single crochet back down until we reach the body portion, do slip stitches all the way around until we reach this other cup portion, and then single crochet. And then we're going to keep doing that until we get the cup size that we need. And then I'll meet you guys back once we have that done. Now we are back and we are all done doing our cups. And as you guys can see, I've actually finished up this cup right here. But the only thing that we have to do is just do a row of single crochet and then do the tiniest row of net that we have ever done on the channel so far along just the outside of the cup so that it's easier for us to attach the straps. Just to finish off the cup, like I said, we're just going to do a little row of border right here and a small row of net. And all that is the first row we're going to do is we're just going to be doing a single crochet row. And there's not going to be any real loops for us to go into again. So go ahead and just find a loop that feels right and then do a single crochet going all the way down. We've made it all the way down with just our regular border row of single crochet, and next we're going to do an itty bitty row of net. So all we're going to do is chain up 2. The first counts as a single crochet. We're going to flip our work. We're going to skip the next loop that we have, insert our hook into the loop after that with a single crochet. And this is our tiny net. Chain 1, skip 1 loop, single crochet into the next, and we're going to keep doing this all the way down. And then once you get to the end, go ahead and cut and tie. And then I already have my other one done, but you guys go ahead and do yours, and I'll meet you guys back to talk about the straps. We just finished up doing the border row and net on both cups, and we are so close to being done, but not quite there yet. One of the last things that we have to do is actually work on the straps. And there's going to be 2 different ways that you guys can actually do the straps. I will give you guys the option. But before we actually talk about that, we're going to talk about the placement first. So we're going to talk about the front placement that goes right underneath the cups. So I went ahead and tried this on right after we finished doing both of the borders on both cups. And I placed my stitch markers in the front and in the back. But we're going to talk about the front ones first. For the front ones, we're actually just going to see where each cup ends. And then we're just going to trace that down onto where the body portion is, and then just place a stitch marker underneath both cups, but they're going to crisscross. But that's actually pretty simple. This next part is going to be the option for you guys. You guys can either pick if you want this to be a halter or if you guys want this to be a spaghetti strap like how I'm going to pick. But if you're just going to want yours to be a halter, then you guys don't need to do this second part. But if you guys want yours to be a spaghetti strap like mine, then once when yours is on, you're going to want to also see where you want the straps to end on the backs as well. And I went ahead and put in those stitch markers for mine. And unfortunately, I don't have a, size measuring chart thing to help you guys out with that. This is all just going to be for you guys, customized for your body. So you guys are going to have to deal with that. But once when you've decided what you want to do and where your stitch markers are going to go, the last thing that we have to do right before we take this off is actually just see how long we need to make our strap. So once when it was on, I actually just put my measuring tape where one of these stitch markers was, made sure that it went across, went up and over my shoulder, and then came back down to where my stitch marker is. But this is obviously only for the people that are going to turn it into a spaghetti strap, not a halter. But I went ahead and measured mine out, and I had a chain of 24 inches. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to insert my hook into one of these stitch markers. And then from here, I'm just going to make the chain length that I need. But if you are going to turn this into a spaghetti strap, go ahead and leave a really nice tail length at the end just so we can weave it into the back. So I now have my chain of 24 inches, and you guys should have yours too, of however long you guys need. And right now we're just going to need to weave it in and out of our mini knit that we did on one of our cups. So you guys can use your fingers, your hook. I'm just going to be using a tapestry needle because it's a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. This is what we have once when our strap is gone all the way in and out of our mini knit that we did into one of our cups. And the last thing that we have to do is insert it into the back. So I went ahead and took my needle out. We can set that off to the side. And then from here, all we're going to do is, let's do it this way. Insert our hook into where this stitch marker is, and I'm just going into the same stitch marker that is on the same side as the cup. And if you guys want to crisscross the back, then go for it. That's completely up to you. But from here, all I'm going to do is take that long tail end, pull it through, and once we get here, all we're going to do is chain up one and cut, and then weave in this end. Chain up one. Oh wait, we don't need to cut because it's already cut. Duh. So this is our first one. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. A really quick tip before we finish this off for the back strap. I know that I just said chain up one and then you're good, but in order to keep this pulling from happening that you guys are seeing, just to make it a little bit more secure, we're just going to pull this down as tight as we can. Then we're going to go into any of the loops on the sides. It doesn't matter which one. All we're going to do is take this tail end, pull this through, and then we're going to do a chain one here as well. And then now we can pull really tight, and then now this really isn't going to go anywhere. And then once when we have that, we are actually all done with both of our straps. So the last thing that we have to do is just weave in all of our ends. After we've woven in these ends, we are all done. I'm really nervous about this, but also really excited for this piece because this is really different from anything else that we've done on the channel so far, and it's way out of my comfort zone. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. But please let me know your thoughts on this too. I'm really curious. And if you guys like this piece or any other piece on the channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It's right beneath the video. It lets YouTube and I know you're enjoying the videos, and it goes a long way to helping the channel grow and gain some traction. But if you guys didn't like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs down, but please leave a comment letting me know why you didn't like it, or if you have any questions, requests, or if you just want to say what's up. I usually reply pretty quick. If you love it, do me a gigantic favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's right beneath the video. It'll let you know when there's a new video uploaded to the channel, get you a bit more priority for requests, and it goes a really, really long way to helping the channel grow so I can keep making all these great videos for you guys. If you're already subscribed, huge thanks to you guys, but please hit that notification bell to know when there's a new upload for you guys right away. And please share with your crafty friends, every bit helps. Links to the yarn and the hooks will be in the description, and if you buy something, that also goes towards helping out the channel. Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest links are down there as well, and as always, 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 thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see y'all in the next one.